So as promised, this is a video on Jax, on his healing process through being quite seriously injured. What we had come to 5 days ago was a deep slice puncture in Jax's armpit on his left side, and I'll show you. It looks really nasty right now, so just for those that have a sensitive stomach, just beware. It's all normal. There's nothing to worry about right now. We've been taking care of him through he's been on a bout of antibiotics and a diuretic to help the swelling stay down because of the nerve cluster in the armpits there. So it looks nasty. Don't worry, it's okay. I'm here to clean it today, and I just wanted to share the process that we have been going through. Everything we've been doing with Jax has been at Liberty. It's been a huge challenge for myself. I'm so lucky. I had a client here for the past 3 days helping and learning with me, helping me process as we're helping each other process the changes that are going on in our own lives through this work. So I'm going to turn around so you can see, and then I'm going to clean it, and then probably would like to just discuss and share a little bit about more of the process that we went. So all of that pink stuff is just from the body's natural innate ability to heal itself, but it has to drain somewhere, so it's been draining down his leg, and so that's why his skin's all pink. So my job today is to just clean up that last little... I cut my nails today. I shouldn't have cut them because it seems to be coming off super easy if I just scrape it with my fingernails, but I got myself a little gentle rubber brush and some water, and I'm just working away at it. And so this is what we've been dealing with, and the swelling, like I say, has gone down so much, and he's actually allowing me to clean it today completely. I only seem to have a certain amount of time before he starts to get frustrated. We had been giving antibiotics via syringe in the mouth, and it was extremely frustrating. I had to go into a whole session on myself around where it's almost like every time I went to go and administer the antibiotics orally, I would feel myself just like not wanting to. I did not want to, and I don't want Jax, I don't want that to be his experience. I don't want to be feeling... I knew that wasn't the case for him. I know that he had asked for the vet on day 3, I believe. We gave him a couple of days to feel into it and have the option to ask for a vet or not. And what it felt like he was doing in the beginning, we had a friend of ours here at the barn, and it was one of the most amazing things that I've gotten to witness when an animal is in pain, or anybody is in pain, where our friend Ken was filming, and he went down really close to Jack's face while Jax was in process. This is before the vet, and this is 2 days in, and he was still he was very sore. You could see he was still trembling. His muscles were not from the wound itself, but I think because of the pain. So he was breathing quite, not heavy, but short breaths. Ken spontaneously had this amazing healing with and for Jax. And when I use the word healing, I don't mean like this spontaneous, miraculous, agenda-based healing. It was a healing based on observation and a healing based on on acknowledgement, pure and absolute acknowledgement. So Ken had gone down like this in front of Jax, and he was just sitting here with him. And then this conviction, this voice came out of Ken that was just like, I know what he's doing. And I'm out of their space. I'm doing my thing. I'm getting water. I'm cleaning the wound, or I'm getting ready to clean the wound. And so at this point, Jax had been in an area about this size. We separated him off, gave him a really lovely bed to be in, and he wasn't moving around very much. He was still quite very sore. And again, remember, everything we check in with these guys. Us here at the barn have done enough work on discernment. We've done enough work on ourselves. It's still difficult, as in like when to discern whose voice you're hearing. Is it the animals or is it yours? But we're pretty confident. And if we're not confident or sure, we have each other to bounce these things off of, which is why it's so important to have some like-minded people around you when you are doing this kind of stuff, as in when you are tuning in and going into communication. So I was over doing my thing in the water, getting some water for Jax, and as soon as Ken said that, I felt like what I could explain as, before that there was tension in the field. It felt like I could feel this bubble around Jax that was quite, if I could describe it in a visual, it would be like a bubble, like when kids blow those bubbles. It was around Jax, but it was really thick and impenetrable. And what happened as soon as he got acknowledged by Ken was I felt this afterwave of relief and this afterwave of release. And I could almost also describe it as like after a bomb goes off, you feel that there's like that aftershock. So it was like a release of this aftershock. And within 2 hours of that, Jax started walking around, still limping, but not nearly as bad. And he asked to go out with the herd. So we listened. You know, there's still the human aspect of, especially myself, because of my past training and my agenda and the fears around, if you let them out, they're gonna get moved, or they're gonna get cornered, or they're gonna get kicked again, or he can't move out of the way fast enough. But again, when we have a few people to bounce these ideas off of, it really helps us to hear what they want. So he went out, he wanted out that night, and the next day we arrived, and that's the day that he wanted the vet. So after the vet, we needed to give him these oral antibiotics, anti-inflammatory, anti-pain, or painkiller, and the diuretic, because like I said, the location of the injury is that of, it's in a precarious spot. Lucky that it's underneath and it can drain nicely. But because it is so close to a nerve cluster, we have to be mindful. And if the swelling gets too intense there, it can cause permanent nerve damage. So anyways, we were in communication with him about the oral antibiotics. He didn't want to take the diuretic the second day. He didn't want the painkiller either. By this time, he had stopped going into that space and breathing quite steady and heavy and feeling into the pain. So when Ken had recognized this, acknowledged what Jax is doing, Jax was going into the pain. He was going into the pain because if you don't allow ourselves to go into that pain, we can't heal it. So that was the recognition. He saw, he observed. This is the power of observation. This is the whole idea behind the quantum physics around the power of the observer. So he was able to really see exactly what he was doing with the pain. He was going into the pain He was feeling it so that it could heal quicker. So that's what I wanted to share a little bit about our relationship to pain, and how we fear pain so much, yet, and how we block pain because of those fears. So the session went into my belief systems around our own. So when I say session, I went into my own, because I've practiced body talk in the past. I went into a session within myself in body talk, and the session went into my belief systems around our medical system, and a little bit of my I remember being a child, being in elementary school, and being like, what if the doctors have it all wrong? What if the scientists have it all wrong? And so I have a distrust in the system. And so in the session, I was able to also go into that aspect of myself. I didn't have to do anything about it. I was just observing. And then I went into the link between myself growing up. So when I had my mare, she was 1.5 years, and I must have been, I think I was about 12, 13. So I got her before my teen years. And as her and I's relationship got deeper, I went through my teen years. There's a lot of emotions, there's a lot of distrust, there's a lot of anxiety. So as my anxiety escalated and her and I's relationship deepened, and if she would get hurt, it was like there was a link between that anxiety of being a teenager, just being, and my ability to show up fully for my horse in presence. So looked at that a little bit and helped release that, whatever that looks like. And then I just stepped into being this person for Jax, who still won't let anyone touch his leg and go near him with these syringes, except for myself. So that was a beautiful journey in and of itself. And here we are still on day 5. And then what happened with Ken, with the masculine and him being recognized, and my epiphany on pain and the importance of going into pain and not running from pain, and not, it's not like we need to get heady about pain and understand cerebrally where it's from, what it's doing. It's not, I think we think too much when it comes to trying to sort out our own psyche. For these guys to show up fully for him, for our animals, all we need to do is just be present in observation. So when I went into it with him around observing Ken observe his own process with pain, it was a really beautiful thing to watch. And because these horses have a whole field, right now he's eating blackberries. They have a whole array of different foraging in the field. So he was eating, they've got barks to eat, they've got different weeds, they've got different berries. So it's important. He was picking his own medicine. I don't know, I think it was some kind of a knotweed that he was using. Willow is also a natural anti-pain. So if you have willow on your property, that will help give them an option. If you can cut some willow bark or some willow branches and give it to them, that would be really helpful. The spot where he cut himself is in the armpit, and it represents represents release of emotion. And we've got some stuff, I mean, we always have stuff going on within ourselves, for sure. And they are their own being, they are their own creature, but they still are connected to us. So I just look at where in my own life, and because this is Jax, because he is one of the ones, I mean, I'm close to them all, but I have something for him, and I would like to think, my ego would like to think he has something for me. So Just looking at with my own life, I don't think again that everything is a mirror with these guys, as they are their own being. They have incarnated in their own physical form, so we are not completely mirroring each other all the time. However, it does help me look at where in my life I'm not releasing emotion. And so as I go through that, I just thank him for helping me see that within myself, and just watch him as he heals and I heal those aspects of myself. So we're finished up now, and I'm going to try and show you what the cut looks like. A second. Now I've cleaned it all up nicely, and as I put my finger in there with some of that cream, I squeeze some more of that stuff out. So this is not for the faint of heart. It's for the love of him that I'm doing this, and I feel honored that he wants me and is letting me to do it. But for me to go into this place with him has been really challenging and a really amazing experience. And I feel a little bit like a wussy because I don't know when I got like this. I used to be able to do this stuff all the time, and something has changed. And so perhaps now this is what he's helping me with, is coming back to that place of this is what it is and this is what's going to happen, and not being emotional about what you're going to do. It's like, I'm just going to pretend I'm a veterinarian and get in there, get the job done with compassion and love and ease, but not, if I waver in my emotions, if I don't feel and look confident in what I'm doing, he's going to feel that, and he's not going to let me do anything. So this has been my journey here with him, in getting this real space of being in this space of this is what's going to happen. I'm confident. I know it's going to make him feel better. My agenda and his agendas are working together. The vet's agendas are working together. I've given him a voice. We've given him the opportunity to be completely off rope. There's no one telling him, making him. I tried that and he fought me through it, and it gave me a sore shoulder for a few days. So there's no need. They know. If we're clear, they know what's happening. So thank you all for listening and being here with us.